for straying too far. So there's a lot of inconvenience right now. So I would like to take this time for all of us to take a moment of silence to give thanks and gratitude. So with our collective consciousness, we hope that we can actually send this message out to everyone who are involved in fighting this COVID-19. So please close your eyes. Close your eyes, and then we will give thanks. We will give our gratitude. Okay, so you can open your eyes again. All right, so we'll continue from now. I hope you all can hear me clearly. In this unprecedented time, whereby circumstances has been imposed to us to live the life that we have been living for the past 2-3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months for in some countries. And a lot of things have changed because from the way that we do things, the life that we're living now, and we are living in a very, very connected world, digitally connected, 24/7, day in, day out. And I believe that in times like now, or let's backstep a bit. During the days before what we are facing now, we are already connected, globally, through our smartphones, through internet and all. And there's a lot of pressure that comes in, be it from work, be it from family, be it even on a personal basis. And this situation now that we are facing enhances that, by multiple of times. Because, take for instance, when you're out at work, you're really out. You're out in the office, out in the field, doing your work, right? And you're away from home. Those that have family, your children are away from home. They are in their school, or they are in some other classes and all, or they could be in other places, in other states, in other countries. And at this point of time, everyone has their set of lives. But come COVID-19, everyone is crammed together. They are crammed at home. And we are seeing each other every day, every hour, every minute. And then, because we are digitally connected, our phones, chimes, tinkles, sending notifications, and every now and then, or even every minute, I believe most of us will be looking at our phones. And it could be like for work, it could be from the social aspects of our lives. And we are so busy to the point whereby I think we are even busier now compared to before COVID, before the lockdown, before the MCO, before the circuit breaker, or whatever terminology that the different parts of the world call it. We are even busier now. And to be frank, it actually creates a certain thing. Like for myself, I would start to think, so what can I do for myself? And what can people do for themselves? Because this added stress, will create a lot of emotions. It will create all kinds of, maybe to a certain aspect, negativity. There will be frictions within the family, there will be frictions within co-workers and all, because everyone is demanding, because you can't see each other, right? And everything is through email, or I think now like WhatsApp's, WeChat is so prevalent. And I'm sure, like, most of you would share the same sentiments. You will have Zoom meetings, even maybe the whole day, 2-3 times a day, or at least once a day, right? And you get to prepare, for the meetings and all. So I would like to take this opportunity for us to dwell inside. See, as the topic says, how can we grow internally while we stay indoor? Okay. So during the course of our life, when we live in a world where the unconscious conscious the unconsciousness that we have is like people, all of us, most of us are actually molded or conditioned to be where we are today. And there are those who are where they are today through the design that they did previously, right? And what they have today is what they have done, what they've decided before. And the saying is, what you do today will decide what you are or who you are tomorrow, right? So why not let us take this time to actually restructure ourselves, realign, retune ourselves, so that we have the time now to actually start planning and start designing for our future. A lot of people are saying that the world will not be the same as before. It's a total change of how we are doing things. And whatever that we're doing now will be carried forward in the near future and for the ongoing generations. So why accomplishments matters? What is accomplishment? They are the goals that we have decided before, right? Because goals actually give us a purpose. And with the purpose, it gives us focus. We get targets, right? So where focus is, energy flows. It's a matter of whether are we moving in life, drifting through life aimlessly, or going through life doing what people think that we are supposed to do, or are we living the life that we want or that we desire? We may sometimes be misled, right? And then we start to do something else, different from what we actually dream of in the very beginning. So focus is actually very, very important. And when you get through the path, the path of what you're doing, from the goals that you set, and then going through the motion, and then of course at the end of it is the accomplishment, right? Accomplishment is one of the pillars of well-being. So when you accomplish something, you will feel good, you feel great, you feel awesome, because it actually creates it gives you a certain there's a hormone that's created in your body, which is dopamine. It's the hormone of happiness. And by having the accomplishment, that leads to a very flourishing life, because life is all about living and doing what you like to do, not doing what someone or what society dictates you to do or dictates us to do. Be a writer. Be a writer of your own story. By being the writer of your story, just like an author of a book, of a fiction, right? They create the storyboard. Be a writer of your story. start to create your own storyboard. What would you like to do? What would you like to accomplish? What are the things that you can do? And frankly, now is a very, very good opportunity. It's a very good time for us to actually, sit down and start to think about it. In fact, even right now, see, and during the course of what we are going to do, in order to accomplish our goals and dreams, there will be detours. Life will throw us challenges, right? It will give us roadblocks. So these are normal, these are common, and all this will actually make us better. So what you could do now is actually think, right? Take a moment. Think of whether are you writing your own story or someone else's story, right? If you have a piece of pen or paper, you could just write it down. Be frank to yourself. Think about it. Are you writing your own story or someone else's story? If you would like, you could actually, put in the chat. There's a chat that you can actually use. You can just type it out. We are fine with that. Do share. All right. So this is not just me talking. I would like you all to be interactive. Okay. Take just maybe 1 minute. Think about it. Think about what you have done previously until now. Is it by your design, or is it by somebody else's design, or is it by the design of society? And then what would you like to do? If it's not your own design, what would you like to do? What can you do? Or ask yourself, what can I do? Okay. So goals, targets, right? These are the decisions that you make, right? And the decisions that you make will lead you to directions in your life. What are the paths that you need to take? It's just like when you're driving. Do you actually go out and drive aimlessly without knowing where you go? Or for those who take the public commute, hop onto the MRT or the LRT or the bus and then, not knowing where they are heading to? But sadly, there are people who are like that. They basically drift through life, or they just basically accept what life throws at them. So the decision is very important. It actually helps us to set the intentions right. What are our intentions? What do we want to achieve from the goals that we have? What would we like to do? There are people who may be of service to others, like taking the frontliners now, the healthcare workers. I've seen certain videos whereby, from the States and all, and the nurse is crying and because of the stress and because she has to face all kinds, the patients and all, and people who are dying. And yet, she said it's something that she wants to do. She will not give it up. You see, no matter how stressful it is, because she has decided then, to help people, to help save people, to save lives. And it's actually very, very crucial at this point of time. So the decision is to decide precisely where to devote our energy. See, because where focus goes, energy flows. And the good thing about making decisions and destination settings is actually it creates a certain kind of it helps our neural circuitry, our prefrontal cortex, right, in our brain actually activates itself. right? And it helps us to make us feel good, And like I said earlier, it's being in the driver's seat. So when you are in the driver's seat, I'm sure you know where your destination is. Where would you like to head to? Whether you're the captain of the boat, or the pilot of the plane, right? Or just being the driver in your own car, then there is a destination that you would like to go. It's the same as with our goals. What is our goals? And where would it lead us to? Right? And then, but many a times also, sometimes it's not just having a goal or having the accomplishments or having the destination in mind, because there's something in between, which is the journey. So there are those whereby they would have goals, they will set goals, or maybe those that are in sales, they the company or whoever, or they themselves set a certain goals, certain targets in the very beginning, and by years end I should hit this, I should get that, I want to hit that, I want to hit my target, I want to achieve my goal. Or they may set a goal to go overseas, not now but in future, or then, to a certain place. So they have to save and all, or maybe they have to take up a second job to earn more income, and those kind of things. But in between, they people forget, we forget to actually to enjoy the process of attaining our goal. We are so too focused. I mean, basically it's all there, but we are too focused in achieving it, not forgetting the process that we need to take. What do we need to do in order to achieve the goal? What are the ways that we can do to achieve the goal? And the other part is, what is the benefits of voluntary action? So goal setting is actually voluntary, right? But then again, I would like to phrase whereby if voluntary means that it's from your own, you set your own goal, or is it a goal that is set by somebody else, maybe your organization, or by society, right? And how would you feel if someone imposes a certain goal to you and say, look, you need to achieve this by end of the month, or by end of the year, or by the first quarter of this year, right? So how would you feel? I don't think I don't think anyone will feel good about it, unless it's something there may be certain rewards, when you achieve the goal. But in the initial stages, everyone will feel stressed. You'll feel stressed out, and because it's not your goal. So it comes back again. Set your own goal, because the benefits of voluntary action is actually you are voluntarily setting up your own goal. Because it's tough to motivate ourselves if we are not doing it voluntarily. It's tough, because it's somebody else's goal. It's actually not our goal. It may be a consensus within the organization that yes, we will need to achieve the goal, but is it your goal? It's not. So why not have your own goal? Because by having your own goal, by voluntarily doing it, and when you achieve your goal with positive results, it gives you a pleasure boost. Coming back to the dopamine and all, you'll feel great. I'm sure you have done this before, and many of us have actually felt this before. We have achieved certain goals that we set for ourselves, dreams that have been achieved, whether big or small, and it gives us a pleasure boost. So try to think back again, during those times when you actually accomplished this. How did it feel compared to something that was imposed on you that you need to do, yet you achieve, but was the feeling the same? In most cases, it's not. It's totally different. And again, many a times, we go through life with dreams unfulfilled. And there are those who do. They set their goals, they set their dreams, and through the course of their life, maybe circumstances change, and you know things happen along the way, right? And they could not fulfill their dreams. But is it really beyond our control if we can't fulfill our dreams? Or is it through our own doing that our dreams become unfulfilled? And the worst part is there are those who go through life without any goals. I mean, it's sad, yes, and it is, but we have to look on the other way. Setting goals is free. It's free. Like people say, setting dreams is free. Setting goals is the same. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to set a goal, but yet we stand to gain a lot by having a goal or two or three or four or even more. See, dreams go unfulfilled, without even trying to achieve anything. And when people realize that their life is almost over and look back clearly on it, it's easy to see how many dreams have gone unfulfilled. And this comes from a book by an Australian palliative care nurse, Bronnie Ware, in a book called Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. So in palliative care, she actually sees dying people every day. And put yourself in their shoes, and how does it feel to be in her position? You are seeing people who are dying every day, and they share with her their regrets, and she actually put it up into this book called Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. So start on setting your goals. And as before we started the session earlier, we give thanks and gratitude, right? We give thanks and gratitude to the health workers, to the people in the front line, to the people that help to put food on our table or provide food for us to eat in these crucial times. That is a gratitude. Don't forget, many are actually keen to achieve the goals, but not knowing that where they come from. And then they lose the focus, they lose the balance itself. And then in the end, they are not able to achieve their goals or dreams. So when I said earlier, it's about the process. So the process of what we need to do, the journey that we take, is actually a growth. It's a growth that grow from within, grow from what we know, grow from the knowledge that we learn, the skills that we learn. All these are growth. And we also need to give thanks, to give gratitude to what we have now. Otherwise, it will never be ending. You will always be looking for something else, wanting to have more and more and more, but not knowing that what we have here is already sufficient. Yes, having more is good. If you can do it, why not? But always remember to be grateful to where we have today. Right? I don't know whether some of you have seen like certain videos, like certain inspiring videos. I mean, those were all staged. They have actors in it, but it actually brings out a very good meaning. So I just like to just share. If you all bear with me for a few minutes, there was this guy. He was in his Rolls Royce. Right? He was in his Rolls Royce, and then he was like, getting discontented with the car. It's a Rolls Royce. In Malaysia, it's like maybe about almost 2 million ringgit. US dollars will be around more than half $500,000 for a Rolls Royce. And he was discontented with the car. And he was talking to his personal assistant, and he said, I think maybe I need to change the car. I don't like this car anymore, and this and that. And they were in the car park, and then suddenly another guy happened to pass through, and then he knocked on the window. and the guy's car was actually parked next to his, and then he was telling the guy in the back, he was sitting, the owner of the Rolls Royce was sitting in the back seat, and then he was saying, hey man, I like your car, this is a very nice car, I wish I could have this car of yours. And the guy was looking at him, with a kind of condescending look, because he is rich and all, and then he was looking at this guy, who is he, and the guy would say, look at my car, he was driving an old Honda Civic, and and he was saying, look at my piece of junk and this and that, and then the guy, he just smiled, sniggered, and then quickly told his driver to drive off. And so the guy with the Honda Civic turned around and looked at his car and said, no, you're just a piece of junk, and then he kicked his car, right? So he kicked his car, and then when he kicked his car, it happens that another guy who was just passing by on a bicycle. So he was asking, hey bro, what's wrong? What's happening? Then the guy with the Honda Civic said, nah, this is just a piece of junk. I wish I could have, what do you call a luxury car like the Rolls that just passed by just now. And the guy on the bicycle told him, said, you should thank yourself that you have a car. Look, I have to cycle every day to work. I live 10 miles away. My house is 10 miles away. So to and fro is 20 miles. So he has to cycle to work, right? So, why are you complaining when you have a car to drive, right? You have shelter. You're away from the sun, away from the rain, away from the snow and cold. I have to ride in this kind of weather. Okay, so he was shaking his head, and then he cycled off. And then the video moves on, so he cycled off and he came to a bicycle park where he had to park his bicycle. And then he just took his bike, and then he just shoved his bike, just shoved his bike, and then he was like holding his head and all. And then there was this lady who happened to walk, and she asked him, why are you, what's wrong with, what's wrong or what's happening, And the guy was just saying, I have to cycle, I wish I had a car, I have to cycle every day, 10 miles, 20 miles to and fro, from my house to work and all. And the lady told him, see, at least you have wheels to cycle. I have to walk to work. And I live 5 miles away. So she walks 5 miles. And she said she can't even afford to take the bus because her salary is low. She can't afford to take the bus. So the moral of things is always be grateful to ourselves, to what we have today. And there are those out there who do not have anything to eat, and they are worried, what is the next meal? Would they have another meal coming in tonight? Right? So be grateful to what we already have and growth towards what we hope to achieve. So there has to be a balance between these two. If we are not grateful, I doubt that we will be able to grow forward. It's a law of the universe. In order to achieve something, we need to be grateful with what we have today, with what we have now. And then we aspire to achieve, to have more than what we have today, then we will grow to what we can achieve. Having goals is just like having a garden. And coming from a gardener's perspective, I garden for a hobby. I have a community garden at home, with my neighbors and all. So having goals is just like gardening. Why I say so is, when you have a goal, when you set a goal, it's just like you are sowing a seed of a plant into the soil, right? And then you start to water it. You start to water the seed. Right? With your goals, you would actually start to do what is necessary for you to move to achieve your desired target. So as you start to nourish the seed will start to sprout. Your goals are the same thing. You will see results from the actions that you have taken, from the steps that you have taken. Right? And there is a certain sense of happiness. There is a certain sense of accomplishment. There's a certain sense of satisfaction that comes with this. So take your goal as your garden. Take the growth as your desired results. It's basically tending to your dreams. You know, all of us would have dreams when we were young. And think back again, are we living the dreams that we have? Or are we living the dreams that we did dream of the last time? Are we living the dreams now? If not, what can we do about it? Do we just let it pass by? Or can we actually start back? Get back. It's never too late to dream. Stop to smell the roses. So it's like, we are so busy, everyone is so busy day in, day out, moving here, moving there, doing this, doing that. And even like now when all of us are in lockdown, and yet, we are still busy, we are busy doing this, doing that, all kinds of things. And do we actually stop to smell the roses? Do we actually stop to think? Or is this situation that we are in today stopping us from achieving our dreams? No, because under lockdown, so 2 weeks or 1 month lockdown, so my dreams will have to be set aside. Or can I continue? What are the ways that I can do to continue with my dream? And to enjoy the whole process, stop to smell the rose, to smell the fragrance of the rose, to enjoy the little process that we put in place. What's happening now, what can I do? What is achieved now? Great, good job. Give us a pat on the back. Because our life is just like a flourishing garden. Because if you don't take out the garden, what happens to the garden? Some of us may have a garden at home. It could be a balcony garden. It could be a big piece of land, in a bungalow and all. If you don't take care of the garden, what happens to it? The weeds will grow. Wild trees will grow. It becomes messy. And then, will you think you want to step into the garden? I don't think so. And then you will invite all kinds of unwanted guests, like snakes, pests, and all these things. So our life is the same. Our life is just like a garden. If you don't tend our garden, if we don't tend to our life, what happens? Are we allowing all kinds of negativity to come in? Then we will have influencers coming in. Influencers coming in to give us advices. Telling us, no, you should do this way, you should do that way. You should do it my way. See how I do it. This is how I do it. This is how successful I've become. Or to a certain extent, my way or the highway, right? So tend your life. Tend your life like it is your garden. Make it beautiful, right? Make it flourish. And then when you have a goal, define the destination, right? Define the destination. Where do you want to go? And why do you want? And why is that important to you? Okay. Where do you want to go? And why do you want to go there? Right? Take a few minutes, write it down. Right? If you have something that you have in mind, maybe after while I'm talking all this while, you have something, ideas that pop up in your mind. Write it down. Ideas are something that is basically created by your subconscious mind. Something that is hidden inside, deep down inside, and that has been buried for a long time, but it's something that you wanted to do, or it's something that you were craving to do. It's something that you wanted to achieve. It's something that you wanted to accomplish. Write it down. You can even share it out with the rest of us over here on the group chat, right? So please take it up, take your time, a few minutes, write it down. Write your destination. Define where do you want to go and why you want to go there. Okay? And so whatever that you wrote down would always come from certain aspects of your life. Okay? And then you will start to realize that which part of your life requires some growth. So let's look at this wheel of life. The wheel of life covers the many facets of our life, from the spiritual aspect, physical, intellectual, career, financial, social, and family. And another way of knowing, which part of your life recovers some growth. Take a certain time to grade, to mark it on the context of 1 to 10. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, in every aspect of this wheel of life. And from then on, decide on what you can do, right? Defining the destination, decide on what you can do. If it's spiritual that you would like to grow, then there are ways for you to learn. If it's physical, maybe it's someone, some of us need to go to the gym, or maybe need to improve on our fitness level, right? Or even improve on our eating habits, right? So these are the things. Intellectually, books to read, courses to take, right? Career-wise, skill sets to learn, to know, to partake in, certifications to take, finances, what are the financial areas that of life that we can improve on. Everyone wants money, everyone wants more money. Who doesn't? I want to, right? But how? Right? Instead of robbing the bank, how other ways, what are the other ways that I can do to increase my finances? Social wise, my network, my close friends, my acquaintances, business partners, associates, right? And then back home, family, relationship between spouses, between parents and children, between us and our children, or us and our parents, siblings, or maybe on the extended family, to your cousins, uncles, aunties, and all. So which you have to define which part, because it's all about balance. So the wheel of life is set so that the wheel can turn, right? So if you can picture this, if one or two or three of the aspects here are not up to 10, right? 10 is here. Okay, for instance, 10 is here. So let's say you have 5, maybe physical is 5, you have down here, right? So can the wheel of life turn evenly? It won't. It won't turn evenly. You won't get the smooth ride. Okay. So look into that. Look into which aspect of your life that you need to grow. It's not going to be easy. Nothing is easy. It's not going to be easy. There will be challenges, but challenges is what makes you tougher. Another part of component is rather than the wheel of life will be 3 certain aspects. Okay, I will just pull out all the 3 aspects that you can see here. First is vitality. All right. So being vitality comes from the word vital, right? Which is important. Something that we need, right? Like food and sleep. We need food and sleep. If we don't have food and sleep, we will perish, right? And then moving on, we have activities. What kind of activities? Exercising. These are activities. Movements. These are activities. And again, physiology. What about spiritually? Meditation, right? As we did in the very beginning, we give our gratitude. This is actually a certain part of spiritual whereby it's not religion, it's spiritual, whereby we give the vibrations of our energy, of our message to the universe. And hoping that the universe will then convey the message in its own way, in its own way to the intended recipients. So we meditate, right? I meditate every morning now. It doesn't have to be long. Could be like for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even up to half an hour. Do meditate. Meditation is the point whereby you can actually get in touch with yourself, to be more aware of yourself. Right? The other facet is connection. Right? Connection. No man is an island. Agree or not? Right? No man is an island. So what is the connection that we have with the self-awareness between us and our family and friends, community, and nature? Right? See, because whatever that happens around us or whatever that we do will also affect others. Agree or not? What we do will affect our families, friends, community at large, and even nature. Like talking about nature, um, nature is actually having a revival now. I hope, because everyone is on shutdown. Everything is shut down, so there's less pollution. And I personally, every morning or even now, it's very quiet. You don't hear cars on the road. You don't hear motor vehicle sounds. You don't hear the din, the din of everyday busyness. You don't hear it. It's very quiet. It's very calm and peaceful. And yes, you can actually hear birds singing. I can hear birds singing out the window now. Right? So what are we doing now? And then think back again in terms of now, the opportunity from what we can learn now. What can we do for nature after all this is over? Right? Can we be more aware, be more ecological to ourselves, to people, and to nature, to do good things, right? And to cultivate the habit of doing good, to protect nature. Third one is contribution. See, actionable values and how to bring them to life in the service of others. Many are walking around with the big me sign. The me sign, me. They have a big sign in front of them. It's me, me, me. So everything's about me, me, me. Nothing about you. It's all about me. I don't care about what happens to you. and many are still practicing it. So we have to try to turn things around, help out each other, and it's the values that we bring, it's the values that we cultivate, it's the values that we practice, and to be able to be of service to others is actually a very noble thing. Right? It can be through monetarily or non-monetarily, and better yet if it's non-monetarily, because it's through your heart, it's through your effort, it's through your blood and sweat. So what is the contribution that you can do? What is your actionable value to contribute to society, to contribute to somebody? It doesn't have to be society at large. It could be to somebody, it could be to a group of people. So what is your contribution? Think about that. And then by going through all this, also assess what matters most to you. What is actually the most important thing for you right now? Not to your boss, or not to your spouse, or to your children. What matters most to you now? Because if we can't take care of ourselves, are we able to take care of others? Right? I've gone through days whereby everyone is demanding a little piece of me. If you know what I mean. When I was working in the corporate world, everyone was demanding a piece of me. I need to do this. I need to submit this report. The customer is waiting for my answer. This and that. Supplier waiting for this. So all kinds of things, and you get stressed. I got stressed, right? And I'm sure most of us will go through that kind of scenario, during the course of our life. So you have to go back in again. What matters most to you? We may sound selfish, right? But if you don't take care of yourself, who's going to take care of you? Okay. And then moving on from there, consider what makes you feel envious or inspired. There are people who inspire you. Who are the ones who inspired you to be where you are today? Right? Think about it. Write the names down. Who are they? What what characters, or what did those people did, to make you feel inspired? See? What did they do to make you feel inspired or envious? I envy that person, because he has a multi-million-dollar company, or he owns a lot of properties. Some examples from there. Okay, there's a little joke over here from Shun Tai. Yeah, the me sign, it's not the me sign. Okay, yep. So the me sign signifies ego, right? Self-ego. And as a matter of fact, a lot of issues and problems in the world, or even whatever that we are facing, is all because of ego. Because of somebody else's ego that's too big, blown out proportion. Some countries' ego that they can't put down, right? And it's all because of ego. And if people could actually practice humility, right? If people could actually practice humility, we a lot of problems would not be problems today, right? Naomi said, "Me equals selfish." Yes, to a certain extent, yes, it's selfish. To say that there are people who will think that we are selfish. If for instance, let's say if I think that I need to do something, I need to do something for myself first rather than do it for you. Yes, the other party would think that I'm selfish. I need your help, but why you this? But if I can't take care of myself, am I able to take care of you? See? So me is self-love. Okay. We look at it it's basically reframing, right? To reframe from selfish to self-love. Okay, I'm just looking at some of the texts here. Okay. So yes, Naomi, I agree. People actually now look at success. Yes, success is good. It's just a matter of what if they can't achieve the success. So what happens then? Is that end of the world? Right? Or is it, some will say that, oh, it's something that it's not me for me to achieve, right? Sorry. Okay. So consider what makes you feel envious and inspired, and then work out the motivation, right? Work out your motivation and the emotional trigger behind your aims, right? What is it? Go into a state, learn how to go into a state. We could actually teach you on a separate session if you would like to learn. There are certain state of beings that you can go in where you can actually trigger your emotional, trigger the kind of emotion, or trigger that kind of motivation that you would want to have. So goal setting 101 now, right? Mapping out how to reach your destination, just like you are in the driver's seat, right? You have a destination, right? You have a roadmap. The map is in front of you, right? Nowadays, people navigate using Waze, or using other forms of navigation aids. Yes, that is your journey. So what would your journey be like? Have you thought about how am I going to go on this journey? How would my journey look like? Right? That will be a certain kind of visualization that we will actually go into later. So map out how to reach your destination. Writing your intentions down. Why? Why is it important for you to achieve that? Why is it important for you to reach that kind of destination? And of course, take small stepping stones. A lot of people give up because they see the whole they see the goal in over there, right? And then what they did was that, they basically just gave up because they could not reach their goals, but they didn't enjoy the small steps. And then in order for you to achieve your goals, self-contract, create a self-contract. Start out with a self-contract. Write something like, I, Coach Wee Siong, will want to achieve this, by when? Using what resources? Right? That is a self-contract. And primers, what are primers? Primers are actually like pointers for you, highlights for you during the course of your journey. All right, it could be like what do you call a screensaver on your PC or on your phone, something like a picture to remind you. It could be like a band that you have on your wrist, or maybe a certain ring or something that to remind you, or something that you place around your workplace or at home to remind you, to prompt you of your dreams, of your goals. So those are the primers. And then the implementation of the intentions. Your intentions have to be implemented. Why? Because this is important, right? And then share your goals. Share your goals to people whom you can trust, that will be able to motivate you, to be able to help you, to be able to pull you up when you are down. Right? Share your goals. Don't keep your goals to yourself. Right? Your goals is very valuable. It can be shared to people that you can trust. And always affirm the goals in the present tense. By saying this is basically to say that you have already attained the goal. Because you see, our mind works in a very funny way. Is, for example, when we watch a movie, all right, we watch a horror movie. Okay, so what happens when you watch a horror movie? What happens when you watch a horror movie? So when you watch a horror movie, right, some people will start to hide. They will start to bite their fingers, or then they get a pillow to cover their face, and all. Then they'll start to peep and all, right? But it's a movie, for goodness sake. It's just a movie, right? But what happens? What triggered that kind of response? Because of fear. Okay? So that kind of fear, even though it is not real, but you still felt scared, right? So there was a fear. So where does it come from? Comes from here. Okay, it was self-generating. So going back just now, when you have certain goals, right? Do you want to feel fearful, or do you want to feel happy? You want to feel motivated. You want to feel energized. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to get this done. I will do this. I have to achieve it. So it's actually bluffing our mind. It's basically our subconscious, right? We are actually programming our subconscious, because our subconscious, our mind, our brain cannot differentiate between the right and the wrong, the good and the bad. It is for us to decide, right? So what we could do is we can actually program our brain, right? Like say if you were to accomplish something, you want something very badly, we think as if we have already achieved it. See, think as we have already achieved it. So affirm the goals in present tense. And then don't forget to reward yourself, right? Because during the course of during the course of your journey, don't forget to reward yourself every little step. Set milestones, set little milestones along the way for yourself. And once you reach this milestone, okay, I'm going to reward myself with this, maybe with some ice cream, or maybe I'm going to the movies, or I'm going to give my friends a treat. Set milestones and reward yourself. And remember, there is no failure. It's only feedback. Right? And visualize in achieving your goals. Right? If you have trouble visualizing directly, maybe you have what you call vision boards. Some people use vision boards, or some people, again, screensavers. Right? We have a smartphone. You are using a smartphone every other day. Right? So set a screensaver there. You will look at your phone every other time. And that is actually to help you to visualize. If you can, even maybe take some time during your meditation. When you're doing meditation, you can start to visualize, do normal breathing, and start to visualize your goals. Start to visualize that you have already achieved your goals, that you're already there. How does it feel? Do that every day. And by doing so, you are actually sending out messages to the universe. You're sending out your intentions, your good intentions to the universe. And somehow or other, the universe will actually respond back and help you along your journey. So by accomplishing what you've accomplished, yeah, it boosts your self-esteem, your confidence, your self-efficacy. You feel great, you feel good, right? So it's something for us to look forward to. And it gives us greater awareness. What kind of awareness that I'm talking about here is awareness about ourselves. During the course of the journey that we have gone through, the challenges that we have faced, we know that we can actually go through that journey. And if something comes in again next time, I'm sure that we can do it. We can do it well. So it gives us greater awareness in terms of what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses, and help us improve from there. It toughens us up, okay, and celebrate, right? No doubt, after a while, yes, the happiness, everything will die down. So celebrate. After celebrating, then the whole cycle continues again. Set something new. So when you set something new, you will still be growing. So I would like to stop right now. Is there anything that you would like to ask? You can actually put up in the chat, and I'll try to answer some of the questions that you put up. I have a question here from Naomi. It's not a question, maybe it's a statement. Just an example: when people meet, ask you what you're working at, etc. Or sorry, working as, etc. So what would you mean by that, Naomi? Okay. If you all can actually look at the chat, I think all of us can actually access the chat. Humanity has really long overlooked. Now people look at success instead. True. Yes, people always look. Yeah, people always actually what do you call classify. I will use the word classify until I can find a more suitable word for it. People always actually classify or categorize you by the success you have achieved. People always ask, yes, because this is the collective unconsciousness that that what we are all facing. This is actually what society dictates, what is society conditions to be. To be successful, you have to be somebody, right? And I think some of us here know that it's not that true, right? You don't need to be somebody to be successful. You don't have to be very wealthy to be successful. You don't have to be, the what you call maybe a top salesperson to be successful, right? There are many other ways of being successful, right? To be able to have a balanced family life, that could be a success by itself. To be able to spend more time. Like for me, I'm able to spend time with my children. I have 4 children, and I have time to spend with my wife, with my family. I find that it's successful, and I have a good income coming in. So, there are those who have a lot of money, they earn a lot of money, and yet they don't feel satisfied. There's always something lacking, and there's always problems in the family with the children. And I think maybe, most of us have seen that happening, children from, I won't say all right, but I say certain rich families, they have their children or the second or third generation always have certain issues. Because why? They lack the kind of attention from the parents. Parents are busy, especially like now, in times like now when everyone is busy to earn a living. I'm using the word earn a living. And poor children are neglected at home or with the daycare center or with the babysitter and all. And some parents even just basically see their children once or twice a week. So just to recap, all right, what we have gone through today, basically why accomplishment matters, goals, right? Now is the time for us to actually, it's a very good opportunity and time for us to retune, to realign our priorities, to look at what is most important for us, for our lives, what we want to do, what we want to achieve, and is to the facilities are there, everything's available right now. There are many things that you can actually learn online. That's what you are doing now, right? For you to those things are available for you, right? And moving on, what are your goals and your accomplishments? What you need to accomplish, but then don't forget to tend to your garden, right? To tend to the garden of your life, to enjoy every step of the way until you reach your desired goal, right? And last but not least, okay, we have another session coming next week. I mean, not next week, in 2 days' time. Get the slide. Okay. All right. So next week, I'm sorry, why I keep saying next week. 23rd of April, which is actually day after tomorrow, right? On Thursday, okay? At 3:30 p.m. same time, right? We will have Coach Ann, okay? And she's here today. She's here right now. So, Ann, would you like to say a few words?
Hi, greetings, everybody. This is Coach Ann. Do join me on the 23rd at 3:30 p.m. To have more insight, to have more sharing about mindfulness and happiness, and how do you achieve this in the lockup environment that we are currently in. So I hope to see everybody, and namaste. See you all soon.
Namaste, Ann. All right. So we will end today's session, and I hope to see you all again on the 23rd. Thank you very much. Namaste.